Hey, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another video. In this video, I'm going to be basically explaining through reacting to a video titled How Joe Biden Made His Millions from CNBC. This is pretty baller. This is a 5-minute and 37-second video. And this is what I tell people when they ask me, hey, why don't you trust these politicians? And I tell them straight up, because they don't work for me. Like, yeah, me and you and I may pay them a salary, but as we're going to see in this video, it is small potatoes compared to what other people pay them, right? And you're going to really understand what I'm talking about here in a moment. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. I'd love to have you as a subscriber, not only here on YouTube, but also on my social media at GMarkPhillips. Everywhere I'm sharing a bunch of content about the craziness and nonsense and silliness, and actually some of it is pretty scary about what's going on in the world. We're talking CBDCs, we're talking V passports, we're talking, yeah, all the stuff that is super shady. All right, let's get into the video here and see what we got to do here.
Joe Biden used to joke about being the poorest member of Congress.
Don't hold it against me that I don't own a single stock or bond. Don't hold it, I have no savings account.
Now, he's among the richest Democrats.
Dude, I think that's all just a little scam, a little character he plays, you know, to relate with the common man. Give me a break. I don't know how people can't see through this shyster. I mean, dude, it's so obvious. He's a con man.
He's running for president. Life after the vice presidency fattened Biden's wallet. He and his wife, Jill, made more than $15 million in 2017 and 2018 combined. That's easily the most out of the 2020 Democratic primary candidates who have released their taxes. And Biden's sudden explosion of wealth doesn't quite square with the image he's pitched to Americans for years.
All my time in public life, since I've gotten involved, I've been referred to as middle-class Joe. It's not always meant as a compliment. Let me say
that's his little persona, middle-class Joe. Don't fall for this BS. I mean, I think you're smarter than that. This guy's a clown.
this simply and clearly, and I mean this. The country wasn't built by Wall Street bankers, CEOs, and hedge fund managers. It was built by you. It was built by the great American...
These politicians know exactly what to say. It is clearly obvious. Now let's talk about this for a moment. Every politician from both sides, the right and the left, have bailed out Wall Street and the bankers. So this is total BS, right? Bush did it. What was it? I forget what year. He bailed out Wall Street. Obama did it. And a lot of Democrats really woke up when Obama said, hey, you know, I gotta give all this money to Wall Street and the bankers, you know, we gotta do it to, they always say it's gonna help us. Bullshit. It's total BS. And people are waking up to it.
middle class.
Biden may once have been part of that middle class. He's definitely not anymore.
Side note, Joe Biden and many of these congressmen, senators, and presidents go into office middle class and come out multimillionaires. Super sketch.
2016 was Biden's last year as an elected official after more than 4 decades. The Bidens made about $400,000 that year. That's more than 6 times the U.S. median income. But Biden really started making money after he left the Obama administration in 2017. The couple raked in more than $11 million that year. They made another $4.6 million last year. They now say they have between $2.2 million and $8 million in assets. They paid about a third of their adjusted gross income in federal income taxes in 2017. Last year, they paid...
And you got to ask yourself, where did that money come from? Oh, you may be saying, oh, but Mark, you know, he got book deals, he has speaking deals. Would you pay any money to go hear that man speak? Give me a break. And he's always been like that. It hasn't just been the last few years. He has always put his foot in his mouth. He's not like a great orator. Again, I see him as a complete clown show, you know. I mean, that guy's always been like that. Again, ask yourself. This is the crux of the video. You find out where he got the 11 million or the 14 million from, and you're going to find out who he works for, right? He may have earned 400,000 as a president. And then, again, this is from CNBC, the mainstream media. So if they're, and as you know, they always paint Democrats in a really favorable light and never shine the light of awareness on them or their sons or their family or any of their shady business dealings. I mean, look at Obama's cakewalk as 8 years in our presidency. They lobbed him softballs all day long. Meanwhile, Trump, dude, they throw him under the bus all the time. Side note, that's one of the reasons why I think, Trump has his faults, and you know what? He's not perfect, and I don't trust him any more than any of the other ones, but at least this. I know every journalist in the free world, because journalists are, 80% liberal, super liberal? I know every journalist in the free world was crawling all up and down that mofo trying to find some dirt on him. And as far as I can see, they didn't really find much. A lot of it's been, a bunch of bogus stuff, silly stuff that never really goes anywhere. Like, I'm still waiting for the case from the raid on his Mar-a-Lago to come out. What really happened with that? Nothing. All the stuff never goes anywhere with him. It's just it's just a dog and pony show.
About 1.5 million bucks in taxes. So, where did all that money come from? Mostly books and speaking fees. The Bidens have 2 S-corps.
Again. Who is reading a book written by Joe Biden, and who is attending a speech given by Joe Biden? I mean, talk about snooze fest. Maybe insomniacs trying to get some relief. I don't know.
Corporations that get paid for their book deals and speaking gigs. Those 2017 Trump tax cuts that are a punching bag for Biden and his 2020 rivals, they gave a 20% tax break to owners of businesses like the Bidens have. The S-corps made about $10 million combined in 2017. They took in about $3.2 million bucks last year. Joe Biden's book, Promise Me, Dad, came out in November 2017. It followed the 2015 death of his son, Beau.
Tragic, unfortunate, tragic,
Jill Biden's book, Where the Light Enters, was released in May 2019. Joe Biden promoted his book with a tour in 2017 and 2018. He made tens of thousands of dollars for just about every stop. He raked in as much as $106,000 for one stop. And fees for nearly 20 paid speeches, mostly at universities, in those 2 years ranged from $66,000 to $190,000.
To each their own, but I would have a hard time paying any amount of money, even giving any of my time to go listen to a 50-year career politician who I don't respect in any way, shape, or form. I mean, the guy is a straight-up liar. He straight up lies about stuff.
The Bidens seem to be enjoying their new wealth. They're renting a lavish 12,000 square foot house in Virginia. They also bought a $2.7 million beach house in Delaware since Joe Biden left the Obama administration. Their charitable giving also rose along with their income. The Bidens put about $275,000, or 6% of their adjusted gross income, toward charities last year. In 2017, they gave more than $1 million to charity, about 9% of their income. That was up from 1.5% in 2016. But Biden's riches could cause some headaches for him. While he has led just about every national and state poll since he jumped into the race, his lead has started to shrink. The Democratic contenders have broadly focused on helping workers and reining in companies and the wealthy. Biden has been less aggressive toward business than most of his rivals. And he is already facing heat for being too cozy with the rich.
Recently, in remarks to a group of wealthy donors, as you were speaking about the problem of income inequality in this country, you said, we shouldn't, quote, demonize the rich. You said, nobody has to be punished. No one's standard of living would change. Nothing would fundamentally change. What did you mean by that?
What I meant by that is, look, Donald Trump thinks Wall Street built America. Ordinary middle-class Americans built America.
We reached out to the Biden campaign about whether Biden's riches clash with his campaign message.
They did build America. Ordinary middle class and lower class Americans and immigrants did build America. But I think he's just giving us lip service so he can get the votes. I mean, he's clearly playing people.
A spokesman said, fighting for working families has been the defining cause of Joe Biden's life. He added that Biden is running to restore the American middle class, with everybody in on the deal this time.
Yeah, he's fighting for middle-class working families, yet he is complicit and an accomplice to spending billions and trillions of dollars of money that is printed by the Federal Reserve that then in turn drives or it increases the money supply in the economy, which in turn devalues the dollars that those same Americans, the middle class and working class Americans, have in their pocket. So milk costs more, gas costs more, groceries cost more. Is that a friend to them, to those people? Does he really care about those people, or is it total BS? You can decide for yourself. I've already decided myself.
It remains to be seen whether Biden still tries to craft an image around middle-class Joe as he continues his campaign, especially if he wins the Democratic nomination and takes on President Trump in 2020. The president is a self-professed billionaire who hasn't released his tax returns. He broke with decades of precedent in refusing to release them. 10 years of Trump tax returns from the 1980s and 1990s, obtained by the New York Times, show massive losses for the president's businesses. He didn't pay federal income taxes in 8 of those 10 years. And since Trump was first running for president, Biden has cast him as out of touch with everyday Americans.
People give Trump a heck of a hard time for this, but you know what? And he has admitted, he has told us so. Every billionaire does this. Every single one, because they're smart. They've learned how to work the system. And who made the system? Well, the people who are running the country designed the system. So it's not their fault. If you have fault with billionaire people finding tax loopholes, look to Congress. Look to those clowns, because those clowns they are just like Trump. The Clintons, the Obamas, the Bidens. I mean, they're all the same as Trump. The only reason they call Trump out is because they paint him as the bad guy, and then they sick the media on us and brainwash people into thinking that Trump's the bad guy when they're all the same. It's hilarious. You want to have like laugh your ass off. Watch the Democratic National Convention, then watch the Republican National Convention. The Democrats are saying, "Oh, those rich Republicans are doing this and doing that and stealing your money and doing this," and those people are all rich, all of them. So, yeah, take it for what it's worth.
How can there be pleasure in saying you're fired? He's trying to tell us he cares about the middle class. Give me a break. That's a bunch of malarkey.
That is a great ending. Joe, I don't think you care about the middle class. I think you're full of you-know-what, too. All right, leave me a thumbs up if you like this video. Subscribe. Check me out on social media anywhere at GMarkPhillips. And thank you so much for watching. Until next time, all the best to you. Health, wealth, and success. Bye-bye.